All right, next up, we got Notre Dame demolishing Pittsburgh, 37-15, the final score. Number 9 Notre Dame over number 22 Pitt. Let's go over the highest graded player, starting off with the Fighting Irish. Highest graded player, safety Tay Johnson, 90.5 grade in the win. Malachi Fields, the wide receiver, 83.5. Eli Raritan, the tight end, 82.8. Aiden Schuler, the safety, 81.8. Jeremiah Love, 80.6. The running back, and CJ Carr with a 58.6 grade in the win. Let's go over to Pitt with their highest grade players in the loss. Jasir Washington, 76.5 at D tackle. Another D tackle here in Francis Brew, 76. Another D tackle here in Nick James, 71.2. Shadarian Harrison, the cornerback, 70.7. Desmond Reed, the running back, 69.4. And Mason Heinschel, the true freshman quarterback, 41.2 grade in the loss for Pitt. Dalton, what told the story in this game?
I want to give Chris Ash credit for his defensive game plan in this one, and very much like I talked about Brent Venables against Ty Simpson in Oklahoma's win over Alabama, Ash applied the pressure to Mason Heinschel. 55.3% pass blitz rate for the game for the Fighting Irish. Heinschel against the blitz, 25.7 passing rate. 4 for 14, 49 yards, the pick six, another turnover-worthy play beyond that, and he holds the football too long. They knew if they came in and pressured him, what was he going to want to do? Play playground football. He wanted to improvise. He wanted to be the gunslinger outside the pocket. Notre Dame's coverage is too good to allow that to happen. Leonard Moore and those guys in the secondary were outstanding. It was a great mix of man and zone coverage. It was a great mix of the blitz looks, inside, outside, simulated pressures. I just think he had Mason Heinschel's head spinning all day, and maybe even more so than something like Simpson against Venables in the Alabama game. I just thought Chris Ash, I thought watching this was probably the best game he's called all year, and if he's going to continue to call games like this, then this Notre Dame defense really has a shot to take him a long way.
Yeah, my side really goes into that too. Pitt averaged 3.8 yards per pass in this game. They had no passing game to speak of at all against Notre Dame, and I mentioned in the preview how Mason Heinschel is a very exciting quarterback, and he's a bit of a gunslinger as well. I think people got a little bit over their skis a little bit with Mason Heinschel this year. Yes, he provided a spark to Pitt, and yes, he's been overall a good enough quarterback for Pitt overall, but he's not the best quarterback in the country by any means or anything close to that right now. He's a really talented true freshman who's still kind of learning the ropes right now as a true freshman quarterback. He's capable of high-end plays, but also capable of plenty of low-end plays too. And unfortunately for him and the Panthers, there were plenty more low-end plays for him in this one against Notre Dame. 36.1 passing grade, 2 big-time throws, 3 turnover-worthy plays, including a pick six, 49% completion rate, only 126 yards, and on 10-plus yard passes, he was only 1 for 6 against Notre Dame as well, and really just struggled to see defenders in zone coverage, which to his credit and to Pitt's credit, they were probably preparing for Notre Dame to play a lot of man coverage in this game, considering Notre Dame plays man coverage at one of the highest rates in college football. Notre Dame, like you said, Dalton, threw a lot of different zone looks at him. All 3 of his turnover-worthy plays came against zone coverage in this one, him just kind of missing defenders on the second and third levels of the defense. So, again, very talented, true freshman quarterback, but there's still a lot of room for growth for Mason Heinschel right now as the quarterback for Pitt.
Look, and you know, Pat Narduzzi said it before the game this week. He said, look, this game in the grand scheme of things doesn't matter that much. They went out and they got beat by Notre Dame. Notre Dame looks like they're going to go to the playoff now, and Pitt got 2 huge games against Georgia Tech and Miami. Can you get yourself into the ACC title game, bounce back from this, and then have a couple of good games here against 2 really good football teams, arguably, you know, maybe the 2 best teams in the conference. So Pitt still has a shot here. This really, as far as their standing for the ACC or anything like that, it does nothing to that, like Narduzzi was mentioning earlier in the week, but they still have to bounce back from a game where they got beat pretty darn soundly.
Who impressed you the most in this win for Notre Dame?
I mean, there's a lot of guys. We could always go with Jeremiah Love because he's great every week, right? I thought the tight end Eli Raritan was really good, but I like the way that Malachi Fields is stepping up outside as that X receiver. His 2 highest receiving totals of the year have come in the last 2 games. 83.4 receiving grade in this game, 7 catches, 99 yards. The one-handed catch down the seam, the acrobatic touchdown catch down by the front pylon of the end zone, 3 out of 4 on contested targets. he's, with his size, the guy that you want out there as the X receiver. He's basically what Notre Dame was looking for in a guy like Bo Collins last year and just didn't consistently get. Fields emerging down the stretch, along with guys who are playing well, like Raritan at tight end, like Jordan Faison, right? Like Will Pauling in the slot. This Notre Dame receiving core is more dangerous than ever, but to have a guy one-on-one with this type of size that you can go to, that CJ Carr can go to anytime that he wants in those matchups, that's a big-time luxury. He was awesome in this game.
I want to shout out the Notre Dame safeties. They were incredible in this one against Pitt. Overall, Notre Dame safeties combined for a 91.2 PFF grade against Pitt. Tay Johnson had over a 90 grade in this one, 89.4 coverage grade, had the 50-yard pick six against Mason Heinschel as well. Only one catch allowed by Tay Johnson for -4 yards to a 16.7 passer rating allowed. He also had 2 run defense stops and a tackle for loss in this game. Aiden Schuler, 81.8 grade. He had 2 pressures and a sack on Mason Heinschel, and he had a forced completion and 0 catches allowed on 2 targets. And Luke Taylor even had a 80.5 grade for Notre Dame at safety. He had a dropped interception and 2 forced incompletions and 2 coverage stops overall too. So Notre Dame safeties again combined for over a 91 PFF grade against Pitt. They were the best part of Notre Dame's defense in this game.
Absolutely. I mean, the defense is rounding into form. The offense has been outstanding basically since week 2. CJ Carr, he had a couple bad throws in this game, but there was a lot of good to come out of it. The receiving core was great, and as always, if you have Love and Price in the backfield, you're feeling pretty good about your chances to run the football. I think at this point, what we have to say for Notre Dame, I said in all likelihood, I don't think you want to preview Notre Dame-Syracuse. I'm assuming this week.
I do not want to.
I didn't think so, and they still have to play Stanford. As long as they don't have a colossal disaster happen in either of those 2 games, we will be talking about Notre Dame in the middle of December, that first round.
Yep, they will be in the playoff as long as they beat Syracuse and Stanford in their final 2 games. But considering how much Syracuse and Stanford have struggled recently and how good Notre Dame's looked in their win streak right now, Notre Dame most likely should win both those games as well, with a massive, massive win over Pitt in what was Notre Dame's pretty much final real test of the season, beating Pitt 37-15.